Hello viewers. So far we have seen in the module 8 advanced query concept about the store procedures in the 8.1. Then we saw the 8.2 transactions. Let us just see 8.3 the functions. Alright, so now let us just understand about the module number 8.3.7, which is the user defined functions. Now how many kind of user defined functions are there in the SQL Server? So SQL Server has got two kind of user defined function. First one is the scalar function. The second one is the tabular function. Scalar function is used for what? Scalar function returns always you the single value out of the function. Whereas the tabular function will return you what? It can return you the table type of return the results from the function. Okay. So now let us just see in example. First of all, we'll start to use the learning DB. We'll check like if the function is already present, then just drop it so that it won't collide with the our execution. So I'm just using the drop function if exists with the name of the function called UDF get marks obtain. What I am trying to achieve here in this function is I am just passing in one parameter to it called student name. I'm just passing a name of the student to it, and in return to the result, in return of the result from a function, what it will retrieve me is it will give me the marks obtained for a particular student. Okay, that is what I am expecting. So the return type of the function is integer value, because the student's marks is what I wanted to return out of this function, right? So the returning type will be integer. And then I will declare one variable within the function called variable return value in the format. The data type is integer. And then you will write the select statement. Select statement will be assigning the value to the output variable. This is my output variable from the function. I will assign the value from the select star from, or maybe select marks obtained from learning DB DBO table result table. Okay, where the student name is equal to student name what you passed in the parameter. Okay, so that parameter you will pass in here in the where clause. And then whatever is the value based on this student name you may have retrieved from this column will be assigned to the variable return value, and that return value will be returned with the keyword called return from this function to the external part of it, and then you may retrieve the particular value for that, right? So that is what the purpose of this scalar function. Say like if you would like to understand, let us just run one query, simple query from this function to understand how many students are there, and based on that we will just try to fetch the values out of it, right? So say we have got 3 students into this table, right? Now out of this 3 student, I wanted to get the result of Glenn only, right? For Glenn, what we wanted to fetch is we wanted to fetch the marks obtained for him. So 290 is what we are expecting using the help of with the help of this function only, right? So we will pass in the name of Glenn and then expect the result as per the 290. Okay, we could have passed it with this way directly. We could just run it this way. Okay, so it will give me the marks obtained for a particular student. So let's just run this much part. All right, so it has given you the function as value as 290. We'll see to the tabular function now. How the user name, we will be using the same database name learning DB. Then we will drop the function if there is any existing function for that with the same name. We'll drop it, and then we will try to create this function as well. Okay, first of all we created it. All right, I'll explain you now. So the create function, first of all we are creating a function name called UDF get student result. In this function we are passing the student name. In return to this result of a function, what we are expecting is it should return us the entire table, maybe a single record entirely, maybe number of records entirely, or maybe multiple records, right? So based on the result that you, based on the filter that you may have passed, it will start to return you the result set out of the table or out of the function. Say like here in this case you are passing the student name like you have passed in here, same way you may try to pass it here. So let us just run with this way. Select star from the function name. Function name is what? Get student result. And the name to it, what we wanted to pass is Glenn as an input to it. Okay. Now here we will execute this function and then it will return you the particular marks obtained for a particular table. So every record or maybe a particular record itself will be returned out of this table. Because see, why am I using after from clause this function? And in this case we have passed only the function part of it only, because it was a scalar function. And here this is a tabular function. So it will be treated as if like a table. So after from clause, what we should write always is the table name or a view name or a tabular function. Okay. For that reason, we are writing the tabular function name and then passing in the parameter to it, name of the student, which is Glenn, and then run the select statement. So it will give us the entire table or meaning a particular record, Glenn, with the marks obtained and in the marks out of how many marks, the total marks were there 300 marks. Out of 300 he has scored 290, right? That is what we have written out of this function, right? That's what the tabular functions usage is. All right, that's what I just wanted to cover up into this, and happy learning. Have a nice day. Thank you.